right now, see? Oop. Hey, did you?
Nah. Hopefully he hit them claps and go on by the
Yeah.
game.
Oh, shit.
All right. There he is right there.
Spotting. Picking. You got it back over there? You good?
All right.
Oh, we getting there.
I see the motherfucker. I'm gonna get it, man.
Yep.
I missed it.
Yep. Oh no, this could be real show. Oh my goodness. We gonna be on one tonight. Brought to you by Dispose, that company that got a brand new truck on the road for you. Let me put it out there that we got something nice that's gonna pick you up. So again, we changing the image, the brand, and everything else that we're about, but the customer service stays the same.
Okay.
Started with me, it's gonna be with me. Come
Yes, sir.
see me.
Right?
That's right, at Dispose. Now, I got to talk about that person next to me. He's been sitting with me for a minute and a half. Y'all need to give it up to my man, Craftmatic. How you doing, big baby?
Man, I'm good. I'm good tonight. I'm back on my Fabuloso program.
Fabuloso.
Yeah, man. You know, I've been through the fire over the last 30, 40 days. And,
What kind of fire? What you
know,
gonna
all
do?
kind of fires, man.
I got
you know
you,
what I'm
baby.
saying?
What I got you, man? Like Fireman Bill with a safety tip.
I
got
know,
you.
man. I know, man. So I've you know, been fighting through a few things, but I'm back now. My mindset's back, so to speak, and driving forward, man. It's all about moving forward, trying to make some big things happen. So I'm doing well, bro. How are you tonight, man?
Man, I'm doing excellent. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, we all go through some things, but guess what? I'm excited because, hey, every day is a challenge. I just face it.
Yes, it is.
So when
Yes,
they
it
start
is.
facing it, man, the challenges start changing and life opens up in a new way. So again, a new mindset. I like
Absolutely,
to say.
absolutely.
Gotta refresh it.
Yeah, man. Let's and that's what we're here to do is refresh the mind, right? Let's talk about who we are. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
That be me.
And we are here to inspire. And of course, we do that through dialogue, helping people become their greatest possibility. And the only way that you become your greatest is you got to change you. See, you're not going to change the world. You got to change you first. And that's what this show is about, an opportunity for you to see yourselves in the mirror of our conversation, our dialogue, our experiences, and see what you would do, what you should do. Make some decisions as we go through these dialogues. These are very unique dialogues, grown folk dialogue, as I like to call it. And I had a friend recently mention that it was just like a conversation with old friends. And that's what we are, indeed, friend. We might not know you, know where you are, but I promise you, we all about you. We all about your struggle. And love is what we represent here. Jay and I just came together with this vision in an effort to just be leaders in our own communities. You know, we're not trying to be, you know, the Dr. Kings and the presidents of the world. We just want to be leaders right here in Atlanta and try to move people toward their best. Seem like people aren't getting inspired nowadays. Nobody's pouring in, right? It should be one leader designed to do nothing but pour in humanity. and he would start enforcing that people would start taking classes, right? Because they got to change their mind. Get them in a classroom, they'll change their mind, and then they'll do something different. But they're not going to do it sitting in their living rooms, not in most cases. But we hope this show is therapeutic enough to get you through a few of your struggles. So we always start the night out with prayer. And I don't know, would you like to do the prayer tonight, Jay?
Man, you had it earlier. Bar Talk with Jay, Cash App. Before
Okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah, man, let's just close our eyes and pray to the Heavenly Father above. We thank you for this night. We thank you for the unity that comes together in this room. We thank you for all the people who are joining us by way of live video or even those who may be watching it in the distant future. We ask, Father, that you would bring a rhema word to us tonight, some greater understanding, some greater wisdom, and allow that wisdom and understanding to create life abundantly for us. And we just thank you for being here tonight. We ask that you would lead this program. May it be fun and interesting to all who watch. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen, amen.
Amen.
Man, that make you
Amen.
that make you want to be in the house. I mean, y'all be right here just trying to put hands on craft. Craft man.
Right.
Put hands on you.
Yeah.
The anointing. Get it.
Something happened to the mic. I got a little louder. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on with last week's topic, and it was a fantastic show. I'm telling you, it was a good. I went back and listened to it. There was a lot of good stuff in that show, man. We had the good, what we called him, what we called B, like Dr. B.
Dr. B.
Yeah, we had Dr. B in the house, and man, he put it down, just giving us some understanding about the subject. So here's what we spoke about. If you're a man in a physically abusive relationship, would you ask your homeboys for help to get out?
Yeah, a lot of people say, yeah, you can ask if you want to and get cut with them. Yeah, some women didn't like that one, bro. They didn't like it, but what we was trying to do is bring more awareness to domestic violence, not just from a man point of view. It's actually women are getting just as violent.
Yes.
And it's been that way. It's nothing new, but it's not being talked about.
It's not been talked
So
about.
one of the things we want to do is talk about it. Then we had all the mass shootings that occurred recently down in Texas and right up there in Ohio. Now, when you add all of them together, one of the things we talked about first, a woman would say to a man, if you hit a woman, you ain't no man.
Right.
I say the same thing. A woman shouldn't be hitting no man.
Right.
So this go hand in hand. So if you keep your hands to yourself, a lot of this stuff will stop. You choose to because you anger and then you conflict. Violence, that's what you've been taught.
Right.
You've been beaten. Everybody knows some of the things that happened through slavery and somehow how you've been raised.
Mm-hmm.
These things are happening all the time.
Yes.
But we need to talk about them because, again, that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, we need to talk about them even in a much deeper way than we did. I think we did the subject justice, but there's something that needs to be, here's an equal opposite scenario that I always think about. The people who suffered from the Holocaust. Okay, they suffered dearly, right. And there were extreme numbers of healing mechanisms that were put into play to help those people overcome the tragedies that they suffered. There were many, many programs put into place to help these people out of it. The American slaves have not been healed. Right? There's no impartation. You know what I'm saying? There's no impartation going on to develop these people. And man, I got so many things on my mind. I'm losing my whole train of thought. Let me just
deportation.
Go. I'm really going back to what Dr. B said. Dr. B said all of this hitting and fighting and all of this abusive stuff comes from our history. Right. It comes from something that hasn't been healed. It comes from something that we haven't dealt with as a people, and it's in our spirits. You know what I mean? Fight is in the black man's spirit. And maybe that's just because it's not osmosis. It's where we've come from, and we've had to learn life by kicking and fighting, and that's who we have become, and it made us much more stronger. But sometimes that strength gets out of hand when you get into very emotional or confrontational situations. People don't know how to conduct themselves. People don't know how to hold their own anger back. They don't know how to keep them hands to themselves because the temperament overcomes them. right? And we call that EQ. It's called EQ, emotional intelligence, right? You have EQ, which is emotional intelligence, IQ, which is your intelligence, and then of course we have SQ, which is your spiritual intelligence. So you got the EQ is a third or more of your entire lifestyle, right? Knowing how you feel about a situation. And that's what we really wanted to get to, which we didn't cover a great deal, but it's about knowing when you get angry. If you recognize your own emotion, then you'll be able to stop yourself, or you'll be able to get yourself out of the situation, right? But what happens is it overcomes us, and we don't know we're getting mad. Next thing you know, we're flying off the wall, right? So first of all, it was a great show. One of the main points that come out of the show was keep your hands to yourself. Don't put your hands on nobody for no reason at all, okay? And that'll solve the whole problem. That'll be the answer to the whole, that ends all domestic violence wars. Keep your hands to yourself.
Well, it's one more. You can verbally abuse a person too.
Yes, verbal abuse. Yeah. Attacking words, calling people out of their name. Yeah. Screaming at people doesn't help them be calm.
Put you right in your mood.
Yeah. So, it was one of those shows. Obviously, nobody agreed. Nobody said they would tell their homeboys that they was going through that.
I have an intervention that,
Yeah.
I won't let you go all the way down. I mean, I've seen you slipping and making bad decisions. I can only just bring it to your attention. Normally get the rest of my boys together because it's a collaboration.
Right. Right.
Usually on one-on-one, it's like you want to shoot the messenger. So you get all your boys together, and that way he feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
That way he can bounce different things off a person. It's just not one opinion.
Absolutely.
And it helps because believe me, you're going to fire back.
Right.
Number one thing is that's another time that you're going to fight. You're up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And people won't change out of you, and you don't see change in you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to fight. I'm sorry. That's just typical. But I want you to stop fighting and start understanding. It's not asking for the fight. It's asking for the understanding.
Absolutely.
But we can deliver this and get moving in the right direction.
Right.
Opposition comes when you least want it.
Absolutely.
And that's what that resistance is all about. So,
Absolutely.
again, I understand.
Absolutely.
That one right there, that's deep.
Learning to deal with that resistance is part of the nature of this subject. Under emotional intelligence, and the other one I didn't say was intellectual intelligence, but under EQ, that there's 20 different points that's measured, and one of the points is resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back from a bad situation, the ability to bounce back from a challenging task or something of that nature. So we have to strengthen our ability to be resilient. Sometimes the argument and troubles come about because you didn't deal with the other shit that was going on, right? And you ain't bounced back from the other shit, and so you still frustrated and upset about that, and now you at home with somebody who doesn't agree with you or see your way, etc., and you start arguing, and it gets out of hand, right? So keep your hands to yourself. It was a fabulous show. If you're a man in a physically abusive relationship, would you ask your homeboys for help to get out?
I'm going to do a Kevin Hart. I'm going to be behind the machine. Somebody got to go and tell it.
Right. Right.
I'm just saying,
So we'd love for you folks to check it out. It was a great show. Just so much good stuff, good quality information that comes out on the subject.
Yes.
I found myself, when I went back and listened to the show, I found myself checking myself. Like, whoa, like Kraft, you don't get nothing out upsets you. Nothing from the outside upsets you. And just hearing some of the words that we shared during the show just was therapeutic. It really gives you an opportunity to see yourself and to change yourself from within. The only way you can change yourself is from within. You can never change your behavior. You can never change an attitude until you start inside, until you start with your own thinking and your own belief system, your own resolve. Those are the things that make your life change. And so check out the show, folks. We're all over the internet.
Keep going.
The top ones: Facebook,
That's
YouTube,
right.
Periscope, iTunes.
Yeah, I like that. Black Planet,
Spotify. Yeah, we're all over Spotify.
POF.
We're all over Google
Meet Me.
Podcasts. Google Podcasts has us in order. You can see all the shows. What you said?
Tinder. Yeah. I would say back pages, but Lord knows we already know about back pages.
Whoops. We don't want to go to back pages.
Yeah, I want to go to, you got a lot of freaky stuff going over there.
Ooh, boy, back
besides
pages
that,
was
we there.
something else, wasn't it?
What?
That back page kind of changed the game.
Man,
you know
it did. Before back page, it was full industrial, my bad.
Yeah.
Am I snitching? I'm on the show snitching. That's
You on
the
the show
ATL.
snitching.
We on the show snitching. We don't do that over here, my bad.
Yeah.
That's
So check out the show, folks, and let's move on to our quote for the week.
What we got?
Very interesting quote. We want to thank Barbara, who couldn't be with us
Georgia.
again tonight. And Barbara says it just like
What
this.
she say?
No one is ever that busy. If a person really cares for you, no matter how much they have going on in their life, that person will make time out of their busy schedule for you because they're giving you a portion of their life. If they wanted to be around, they wouldn't make excuses.
That's like something my ex-girlfriend said.
That's exactly what I thought.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry. That's exactly what I thought.
This is a scripture out of a woman book.
Listen.
I heard this line so many damn times.
I'm sorry.
I ain't trying to be time for your ass. I work here.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
I
right.
do know.
That's exactly
I got a job.
what I thought.
I
Right?
was broken, sitting at home. I could see it.
Listen,
You got to make
here's
time around the other time.
Here's a conversation I have had before, right? I have a friendly conversation, a friendly dialogue, a friendly relationship with this young lady. And so she texts me
Okay.
7, 8 o'clock, 9
Before
o'clock.
booty time. I mean,
And
still.
so, I didn't answer. You know what I mean? I had to keep moving. I had some things going
that's
on,
early
right?
though, crap.
Right?
You already know there
Right.
ain't a booty on me.
I know, but I'm usually committed by 6 o'clock, to my evening. So I
Oh,
sometimes,
damn,
so,
what kind of schedule?
so,
Crap.
so it works kind of like that,
Okay, player.
So I didn't text her back, and she sent me a few more messages, and each one of them got a little more derogatory. And so I'm starting to ask myself the question, who she thinks she in control of, right?
Everybody start cussing.
Right? Now, I care deeply for you,
Not
but it
that
don't
damn deeply.
mean that I got time to do whatever you might need me to do, right? Think about it this way. The world is in your back pocket.
Okay.
And what if everybody in the world decided to call you in one day?
I pass gas. Everybody in the world gonna smell it.
They don't own you. They don't control you. They can't tell you when to respond, how to respond. Well, you could have did this and you
Changed your
should have
whole
did
life.
that. Well, how long does it take to write a text message? And I'm
Don't take
like,
long to just
stop
let
it,
loose.
right? I was that busy, and
That's
and,
right.
and don't get it twisted,
That's
right?
Say it again.
But you're never too busy to take care of your kids. Don't we got a lot of folk
Man,
who
we're a family
we
show,
got-
so I
we
ain't
got-
gonna say that. They get on my damn nerves too.
You're never too busy to take
Oh,
care of
yeah,
your husband, right?
I ain't got no other.
Whatever
Yeah, I
those
don't do
needs
that.
might be, your wife. You're never too
Okay,
busy
you got
to
the
take
wife.
care of your wife. You should never be too busy, because no matter how busy your schedule are, you will fit the people who are on the inner circle. We have to make time for those people.
They don't want to make me
And-
work so hard.
Yeah, well, listen, they
Oh,
do.
they won't.
They do require a lot.
Exactly.
They do
so
have
I
a lot of
to
wants.
make a lot. So how you
and
gonna want time?
they
And I
want-
gotta take time to make
want,
money.
They want time and money.
They want a whole lot.
Yeah, they want a whole lot, but and it'll be your responsibility to give it to
See
them.
what I'm talking about? How this became just mine? I thought it was us. It's a we thing.
I know.
You need to give her time.
I know.
Well,
I know.
You want my time? What about your time?
Here's a familiar subject on it, and then
What's
we'll move on. But
Okay.
just think about I have kids who are on the other side of the country,
Right.
and I love my kids dearly, as all parents do. And I'm calling them, and sometimes I get a call back, and sometimes I don't readily get a call back, and I'm calling it, and sometimes I know they're busy, I know their schedule, they live. You know what I'm saying? We've all been there, but sometimes I get tired of calling. Right? And so I just signed to say, well, maybe Pops ought to sit back on the sideline for a minute and see what happened. And certainly they called every time, but we get in a pattern of thinking that we're the only ones who can reach out. Sometimes other people need to reach out to us too, you know, and don't be so busy that you can't call and see how I'm doing. I know in my life I've kind of been a victim of circumstance, we'll say, because I never really have any problems. I have a good life, and everybody who knows me knows it. So they don't check on me. I don't hear from people for years. They be like, "Oh, Kraft, you all right?" You know what I'm saying? If I miss
That's
calling
messed
them
up,
today,
Kraft.
ain't no big deal, right?
I'm gonna
But
put
I
a
need
mental
to,
note to call
I need to
your
hear
ass.
from you too,
Check on
because I love you and I think about you often. I don't want to be the only one crafting an email because I ain't talked to you in 30 days. But a very interesting subject.
It is.
Because people who you care for, are you making time for them? I think that's what the question begs, right?
Right.
Are you really setting aside quality time for the people who you love? And if you're not, I would ask you to take a survey of what you're spending that time on.
All of these other stuff.
Right. So
Yeah, I'm
sounds like
selfish,
your
just like she's selfish.
sounds like your priorities have been set. And
no,
I wonder.
sound like my priorities is not in order.
Yeah, and yeah,
But hey.
yeah, and what should the people do who recognize that your priorities are not in order? Should they just?
Try to show you a way that you can learn to realign them.
I mean, what you're basically saying? I got to shake them up. I don't want to have to do
you
all
ain't
that.
gotta touch
right?
me now. Hold
I
on,
mean,
all
not
this
shake them up
shaking.
like that, but I'm
But-
talking about I need to mash them. Hey man, why you ain't call me? You know what's going
can
on?
do a little mash, or you can just do a little presentation. My whole thing is there's certain things I want somebody to see. I can kind of get it where they can align it, where they can see it, and
Yeah.
then they'll want to.
Yeah.
So you call and it's a mental thing, but my whole thing is I try to put in a position where I don't have to be stagnant either.
Yes.
And I don't really feel like I need to come down. I
Right.
feel like if I'm going up, you can come up with me. We can go up together. That going back and going down is getting backwards,
Right.
and it's getting out of time.
Yeah.
It's time for us just to keep moving forward
There you go.
and learn to get people to move that direction as well. That way they got their steady growth. It is not just off of you. And that's one of the things that I like to say right now. Everybody want to pull somebody. I got a person in the audience. He told me a long time ago, I don't like to get pulled.
I don't like to get pulled.
Yeah,
either.
Buddha don't like to get pulled.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
pull Buddha will probably just pass out
Yeah,
on you.
I'm one- yeah,
You're
I'm
going
one
to
of
keep
those
on
cats
pulling.
too, yeah.
But if you can push him, he can steer his own way.
Right.
His whole thing, he might need a little help, but I can steer myself. I'm my own captain of my own ship.
Yeah.
You can help me by pushing, not pulling.
Yeah.
Because when
And
you
listen,
start pulling, you take away the controls of where I'm going.
That is a lesson in leadership, right? Pushing or pulling. You got to know who your audience is, and you got to know how to influence them, right? And if you're saying the wrong things to a person who needs something else, you're missing them altogether, and you're not leading them at all. So I like that. I like that. That's fantastic, man. Listen, the subject for tonight. I'm gonna move. I'll move past craft segment. It's kind of deep right now, so let's go ahead and cover the subject for tonight, the topic for tonight, and then we'll take our first break, and we're gonna come back with a mean show tonight. Tonight's topic is why do we reserve a place in our hearts for people who don't make an effort to stay,
Ooh.
for people who don't make an effort to try, for
Ooh.
people who just seem to keep on disappointing
Man, who
us.
be coming up with this stuff?
I don't know, man.
Y'all got something going on, some bitterness. Y'all need to go ahead and hit the back pages and let me know. Hit my DM. Y'all come with some deep stuff.
This is deep. This is deep.
That's personal.
But
That's
listen,
really deep
see,
and
you know,
personal.
the whole conversation ultimately is about it's about caring for someone beyond their faults.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But that
It really
person
is
that
a-
got the faults
it
ain't
really-
seeing their faults.
It's a Christ-like love that we got to talk about tonight, and sometimes that's hard to get to. We got to get ourselves out of the way in order to get there. But we got a fabulous show lined up for you. We're gonna go ahead and pay the bills, so to speak. And so we got some great music lined up. Please, I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be right back. We got Jamal on tonight. We got the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey, who always bring the heat.
Ooh, fire.
And, of course, Jay and I go hard in the paint second half of the show. We're
When
glad you're with us
shooting at
tonight,
you.
and we hope you stay with us. Enjoy the music, get up and dance, and we'll see you right back after this break.
There we
All
go.
right.
There we back. We back.
All right, and we
Bar
are
Talk
back.
with Jay.
Yes, sir.
Back in the building. If y'all see somebody in the background, that's our bartender.
Okay.
How you gonna be a talk radio show talking about this stuff and not have a bartender back there on call?
Well,
That's
see,
for all the special guests that comes in the house.
Yeah, I like that, but I'm off the notion that you
What's that?
serve yourself. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
yeah, but
fix
I
your
got
own, fix your own
I
troubles.
got calluses, so I gotta get a little help. So we got a bartender in the house. We have brought more than one.
Nice.
To make sure we keep it fresh.
Yeah. Y'all welcome Inertia
drinks,
in the
that's
house.
right.
Inertia
That's-
in the house.
Wait, that ain't no regular name right there.
No, that ain't no regular name. That's a
No.
great name, though.
What?
You know? Yeah, that's a movement name, a forward movement name.
Forward.
Right?
That's what we do over here. We make things move up in here.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Hold on, y'all.
And do we got him on?
Okay. So now we're going to have to introduce this guy. This one that's coming up next, we don't even know how his day was, but we're about to find out. One of the things I can tell you, somebody that look like him that's not him is the one he always say. We're going to find out if it's him tonight. Jamal, how you doing, big baby?
Man, what's happening, fellas? What's happening, crowd? What's happening, bone?
What's
Rock,
good?
what's
What's
happening?
good? Big time.
Trying to do it,
We,
big
you know,
dog.
we always need a geographical report. Where are you tonight, my friend?
Tonight I'm in Philly.
Philly.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. We love Philly. Last time I was in Philly, boy, I had a ball.
what was you doing in Philly, Craig?
What? Came home in the daylight, man, last time I was in Philly.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a good time. Hey, we know that you always bring the heat, man. Anything in particular on your mind tonight?
Well, for y'all cornballs, just know my pimping is solidified. I had Sweetheart come into town over the weekend.
Mhm.
I did my thing. You know what I'm saying? She went back to where she needed to go. Hey, respect the pimping, man.
Sound like disrespect. You nasty. Jamal, you just so nasty.
Man, okay.
You
So
put it down on her?
You put it down, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, I got some of these new vitamin pills. Listen, I swear, these pills is, yeah, they there.
Now let me ask, I've been waiting for a punchline on the subject, right? I think you just hit the mark, right? So
What is that
these
like?
pills, what are
No,
these?
like, okay, the
Tell
pills
us about
work like
that.
this. Somebody I'm real close with sent me some healthy nutritional stuff. So I went with lotion, pain cream, and then it said men's health supplement.
Okay,
So I'm like, all right, cool. It's just a multivitamin, whatever.
right.
The next day I was able to go to the gym. I put up an extra 25 on the weight, you know what I'm saying, each plate. So I was like, all right, got a little extra kick to it. So when Shorty came through, she legit looked at me and was like, yo, what the hell did you take? And I was like, I ain't taking that. Then I remembered I took the
Yep,
little health vitamin
multivitamin.
things. And
Right.
listen,
Yes.
with my breathing techniques and that thing in that pill,
Yes.
hey, it was well worth the hotel.
Man,
Hey,
let me tell you what, that pill is changing the world. It is changing the world.
Changing a lot of marriages too. Hey, anyway, that's besides the point.
Listen,
That's besides the point.
it's
Go ahead.
causing 70-year-old men to have children. I'm telling you, it's opening a lot of doors that otherwise would have been closed. And I personally believe that the human male would be naturally, have a perfect erectile function if he was able to eat without all these chemicals and supplements and all these things. If we could just eat naturally, I believe we would have our testosterone up strong for all of our lives. But there's a lot of things that eat away at a man's, a man's, strength in that way, right? There's a lot of things, from mind things, a lot of things that take a man's mind and he can't even get himself right, because your mind got to be right for anything be right. So we applaud what the blue pill has brought to the world.
Oh,
And,
no.
These are real vitamins.
no.
My brother did not pop no blue pill.
Yeah,
No.
listen, I understand.
Never needed like that.
I
It
understand.
legit
I understand. I
health
understand. But listen,
supplement.
I understand.
I thought it was a multivitamin,
And listen.
like, the thing that put like 7,000 calories in the pill.
Right.
I thought it was one of those.
Right.
But surprise,
Right.
it had a side effect.
we
I
didn't tell
didn't know that was the side effect.
Okay,
Nah,
yeah.
bruh.
Okay.
You know,
And it
no,
is.
no disrespect to
Okay,
the blue pill,
so
but
listen.
the brother didn't need
So
the blue
listen.
pill. It
So
was,
listen.
It was
Wait,
a surprise
You
health
you got the
supplement.
lesser version of a blue pill, right? You got the
I mean,
healthy,
same
natural
result,
version.
but it wasn't
And listen, there are some
plain. It
things.
was
There are some
needed,
things.
is all I'm saying.
There are some things that I have learned that are health wise that do a lot for male, performance.
Gin.
And just natural things that do a lot for male performance.
Yeah.
Something you got to
Liquor.
focus on
Gin.
if you're having problems in that area.
Make you sing.
I think I'm kind of fortunate based on what I hear. So I don't really have no issues like that, and I like to elongate the process. You know what I'm saying?
Crab like to stay in it just way past bedtime. Crab don't know when to come home.
I think nighttime is made for love making, right?
Not all night, Crab.
Well, what the-
I mean, Crab he might be in a body bag. Yeah, he'll kill their whole body.
I mean, I don't mean no harm,
Man,
man.
you
I just
made
be
harm,
trying to
bro.
bring love to the
You know
world.
what I mean? Women
right?
you sent to Grady.
So, listen,
another one of Crab.
I
Another one
know-
bit the dust.
I know that you were talking about health products. I happen to be talking about the blue pill. I think that because they listen. Every convenience store is selling out. They selling out, and so we know a lot of people are taking it. And I may have to one day, and I'll resolve to that when it's time. But until then, I'm gonna preserve.
It's good when she
the
look
whole.
at you with a psychotic look backwards, like, who the hell are you? Like, when she look at you like, nigga, where you come from? That's when you know, hey, I endorse this product.
Oh yeah, listen.
But
yeah,
you know
listen.
they're coming out with a female Viagra?
I heard it.
Really?
I heard that.
And what would that do? Give her sex
Bruh,
drive?
Yeah.
Female Viagra turn her cougar into a full-on lioness attack. You know what I'm saying? It just bring it out of her.
But listen, that
Better than
happens.
Henny.
That happens naturally. You can't. No, they can't do that. They can't bring that to the world. The women would take over the world with that kind of shit.
Hey.
We
Bro,
got
they kind of scared
listen,
me at the same time. Like, woman, you gonna give me that right now? Okay,
Yeah.
baby, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's what it is. Hey, but what's the topic for tonight, though?
Hey, before I give you the topic, I just want to put an announcement out. Everybody needs to write their congressmen and their senators and tell them do not put that female Viagra product on the market because it could
Gonna
destroy
change
the
the
world.
We're going to take over the world.
Mark my word, Craftmatic told you.
You know, women already territorial, and if she get the good, she not sharing. Oh, that's gonna be a brutal onslaught.
No, bro,
Whoever
you
try to touch her,
you don't see the
maybe
vision. We talking
female
about
Viagra ain't a
we
good
talking
thing.
about
That's-
women who walk around with testosterone like men, going hard in the paint.
No, it
Looking
don't
for
increase
2,
their
3, 4
testosterone.
four sessions a
It
day.
increase their estrogen and hormonal level to increase their sexual desire.
Yes, we don't want that. Their sexual desire will be derived from some mean touching by some fella, right?
grabbing.
Yeah, now he'll set it off. That's all the push button that we need. We don't need no more push button in women. You think you got problems with your lady now? She get a hold of some of that. Boy, you got some real problems on your hands.
Trying to turn that remote off. Turn it off.
And you're
Too
not gonna be
much.
able to, boy. You're not gonna be able to. That's good. That's a good subject, man. That's a good subject. Okay, quickly. We got probably less than 5 minutes, man. Let's let you attack the subject at hand. The question goes like this: why do we reserve a place in our hearts for people who don't make an effort to stay? For people who don't make an effort to try?
Oh man, that's getting all personal. I might need a shot.
I said that
All
earlier.
right.
Yeah.
Give me that question one more time. I want to give you a proper response.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because it's one of those questions you got to dig deep in your soul for, I think. Why do we reserve a place in our hearts for people who don't make an effort to try?
I would say we reserve a place in our hearts because that's the place in our heart that we want touched the most. And for the people that don't deserve it, I believe that's because we want the idea of it more than the person that we're with.
Nice.
That was smooth.
That was awesome.
Woo.
That was awesome. And so,
I'm trying to make something with somebody, even if they don't deserve it, I'm trying to make it like this anyway because this is what I really want above all else. And I believe that I could want it bad enough for the both of us.
And listen to this.
And this is this type of love that I'm really looking for. And
Yeah.
you might not have it to give yet, but
Yeah.
I think I can get it. And the bad part about it is like trying to fill a never-ending pit. Like,
Yeah, man.
you never
And listen,
quench that thirst. You're never gonna close that hole. It's just gonna be deep and giving, regardless.
Yeah. So watch this. Watch this. Let me just chime in for a second here, man. That this is so
That hole
important.
is just gonna be deep and giving, regardless.
Yeah. So watch this. Watch this. Let me just chime in for a second here, man. That this is so
That hole
important.
is just gonna be deep and giving, regardless.
Yeah. So watch this. Watch this. Let me. Okay. Are we back? See, where you at?
Y'all good?
We got a double feed. Hold on 1 second. We got a double feed.
Ain't number devil. Ain't number
There's
devil
always
trying to
something to
make
get-
noise, right? So let me chime in while I can. We apologize for the technical difficulties, folks. Please bear with us. He was talking about that we basically hold a place in our heart for someone dear, right? And the person who we're there's always, and this is the point I wanted to make, there seems to always be a person that we're trying to put into that little space in our hearts, right? And most of them are not a good fit.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
that happens a lot.
So we spend a great deal of our lives trying to fill our gap that probably only a few will fill. And boy, that's got to be hard work in life.
I
Yeah.
say it like this. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm one of them cats where I tell a female what it is up front. That's just a personal rule. But if you really talk to me, there's certain females you just know that's kind of the standard of what I'm looking for long term.
Okay.
Like, the stereotype for me is I like the light-skinned girls with the pretty hair and the, big butts. That's what the stereotype girls I smash. But the woman that I date is a different standard. And I held her to such esteem because she meant so much to me at a point where the relationship and the love that was shared between me and her, it was just iconic. It set a
iconic.
standpoint in my life.
Okay.
So any woman after that, this is the standard of, before I can even get to even loving you, you just have to know this is the type of love I come with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the next person that you date, you find yourself trying to make something with a person, trying to recreate that magic, trying to find that spark again because there was no love like this love, and you just keep looking and you're trying to make something with a person that's just not able to give it, that's not able to equate to that substantial setting in your life that you're looking for.
Man, that is that should be a show in and of itself. Like we could spend a lot of time on that. Yeah, you're exactly right on point, man. And there's so many factors. There's so many factors that go into putting a relationship together. And a lot of it is chance and timing and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, they want it out.
Yeah. Listen, I love the way you brought the subject. I think we're going to spend a great deal of time on that the second half of the show. As we part, any words for us, my friend?
Hey, man, Cornball, listen. Get you some of these vitamins. These health vitamins really come in handy, just giving you like that. And by the way, in regards to that special woman that you're trying to love, it's okay to have a standard that you set, but you can't compare everything that she do to what the next woman do, because you ain't gonna never progress. That's how you become bitter, and that's how you never become better at the situation.
Yeah, I like that, but never let your standard be set by someone below your feet.
So,
you know what I mean?
I have
If
a
you
woman that I
elevate,
love
you just elevate.
dearly
You know
in
what I
my
mean?
past, and yes, I know what I'm looking forward to bring to the next woman. But with that,
Right.
I have to accept the nuances of a new female and what they have to offer.
Absolutely.
That's what I know I'm willing to give out.
Absolutely.
Because as much as you want to say what you bring to the table, you need to be man enough to set the table, to set the house for the table.
Yes.
And that's emotionally, financially, or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
You need to be clear from your past in order to move on to something better.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And one of the first things I think about, I know we got to go. One of the first things I think about is where you have a wife, a husband and a wife, and they get a divorce, and the wife goes on to her new life, and she can't quite live the life that she used to live, right? But the guy who shows up steadily, who trying to holler at her, you know what I'm saying? Even though he don't make the same bread, he don't drive the same cars, he could still be a good dude. You know, and you have to not in re-engineering yourself. Sometimes you got to re-engineer your understanding of what is right for you, right? Or maybe what is right for you right now. I think that's an important conversation we could all have with ourselves. But I love your commentary, bruh. We appreciate you being here with us, man. And we're gonna look forward to talking with you next week.
All right, man. Y'all hold it down. Hey, y'all cornball, step y'all game up.
There it is. There it is.
No supplements. It works. She gonna love it.
Hey, we got a seller of supplements, and supplements can do a great deal for you, man. I'm telling you,
make you happy.
I've seen them, I've felt them work, and they are phenomenal, and they're healthy. Right?
At you with
they are
crazy
absolutely
look.
healthy.
You just gotta have that arrogant smile with it, like
yeah. So listen, folks, we're going to take our next break. We want you to stay tuned. We got more Bar Talk with Jay. We're coming back with the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey. And we always love what he has to say. So y'all be with us. We'll be right back right after this song.
About to change your life. About this,
And
they don't know
we
about this.
Are back with
Welcome
more
back.
Bar Talk with Jay.
That's right. That's right. We getting back into it right now. Yes, coming back from break. I'm telling you, was having such fun. One of the things I want to make sure you know, they don't know about this.
Are back with
Welcome
more
back.
Bar Talk with Jay.
That's right. That's right. We getting back into it right now. Yes, coming back from break. I'm telling you, was having such fun. One of the things I want to make sure you know, they don't know about this.
Are back.
Okay, well, I get to hear myself during the show. That's different.
That's interesting, right?
I did that. I
think
That
I
was
sounded
me.
all right. What little bit I said right there.
Yeah, we was fine.
So we are back with Bar Talk with Jay, and we want to thank the folks who are with us live tonight.
Ooh, who we got?
We know we have several platforms that are watching live, and we want to thank you folks for being with us. This is a show for inspiration, and we hope you feel the magic and just understand Jay and I's vision. We're just here to talk positive about life, and hopefully you'll find something that's meaningful for you. That's what we hope. And so if that happens to only one person, we will have achieved our goal. And we got over 200 shows that we have put on over the past couple of years. And there's some great dialogue in those shows. Some dialogue that is really epic in terms of their depth and in terms of the wisdom that's coming forth. It's like putting a collegiate personality in the streets and coming out with the real. You know, that's what our shows represent. It comes out with the real, and it's not always good stuff. You know, sometimes people got opinions that, you know, that are just kind of, some people have some harsh opinions. We've seen a lot of them.
I mean, we still gave them good stuff.
We've seen a lot of them, right? Yeah, we gave them good stuff. So you folks continue to stay tuned and watch our show, share it with other folks, like us, share us, subscribe, like us, share us, subscribe. I can't ask enough. We're just trying to get the good word out. So we understand that the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey is not with us right now or tonight as of yet. We're still hoping to get him on here, but let's go ahead and cover the topic for the week. The topic goes like this.
What we got?
Why do we reserve a place in our hearts for people who don't make an effort to try?
Whew. Now, see, that right there, it could be very personal, depending on where you at in your levels. But talking about it is getting past personal. It's just having a better understanding. A lot of times I make room for what's not really for me. See, you got to really understand yourself, because a lot of times you want something and you putting it in and it ain't even really for you. Because if you really know you already know it don't even align.
Right.
You're grabbing something that's going to take you toward out of alignment, but you just want it. You know, it looks good.
You just want it.
We talking, it's popping, but you ain't look at the bigger picture. You don't even align. So you making room for somebody that already see that you ain't right for them. So they're not going to make room for you.
And I wonder how many marriages and divorces have gone through that.
Now, that's a whole nother show.
I mean,
we going to talk about that one, too.
Yeah, think about it now. You got a young lady. Maybe she's
fine,
in her 30s, right?
Fine.
She's educated. She's sexy,
fine,
everything, right?
Yep.
But she hasn't met Mr. Right yet. But this decent guy comes along, you know what I'm saying, with a swag that she might like.
Swagger.
She get excited. And next thing you know, she inviting him into her world, right? Because she trying to fulfill a void. She trying to fulfill a Mr. Right void, but he not Mr. Right. He can't keep a job. You know? He no have any inspiration.
No.
He come from a very, very dark home, right?
You need to go back home. You need to go back out.
Right. And so now she has made a decision to share her whole life with somebody who just doesn't fit the bill. It happens all the time. That's why I asked how many marriages and how many divorces have happened as a result of people trying to fit folk in their slot that doesn't belong. I would imagine this is a subject that probably the greatest statisticians couldn't put their fingers on.
If they can't, we can help them tonight.
Right? So, it happens all the time. We need something in our lives, and the person who comes along maybe just fills a void for you in just that time, just that season, and we take to them, but sometimes when we realize the BS, we don't let them go. And so, we're still loving a person who we know are disappointing us over and over and over again. And why do we stay there? God only knows. Perhaps we should cut the ties much earlier. Mm-hmm. Perhaps we should stop caring for those people who don't seem to be caring for themselves. We should stop caring for people who don't care for us. Right? That's not a punt. That's not throwing darts at anybody in the world, but it's that we should begin saving ourselves even more for ourselves or more for Mr. and Mrs. Right. Okay?
I agree with that.
Yes, and that's not easy. It's not easy to be alone knowing that you could have went out tonight and maybe had a good time at the very least.
I'm going out. Shit me. I'm being alone.
You going out, Jay?
Yeah, I'm going out. Shit me.
Okay, I'm going out too now.
Yeah, ain't no need to just sitting in. Nah, see, that's that old past behavior. I need to get rid of that.
Yeah, man.
I need some of that new stuff, okay? I
there
need
you go.
That fresh.
Yes, and there's a lot of new stuff and a lot of fresh
new.
out
This Atlanta. This
right?
that new.
Just to spin on the subject, because we really need to compartmentalize it a little bit more.
I have some fun.
We have all gone through scenarios where our cousin and our brother and even our mother and father or someone real close to us has disappointed us.
Oh, yeah.
And we expected more from them. We wanted them to help us or support us or whatever the case may be. And they didn't.
All right.
But we still care for them.
Right. Why wouldn't we?
Because we reserve a place in our heart for them.
And let alone, you got to understand, that's just a judgment call. You got to remember, I wanted them to, so I had an expectation.
Okay.
They didn't meet that expectation. That was mine.
Okay.
I have to take ownership. Their failure was something that I thought they would do. I thought they was there. They wasn't.
They weren't.
So did they really fail me, or did I fail the expectation I had of them?
Now you just changed the game with that, because what you said is that
a lot of times it's more us than them. It's just your thought. It's your way of processing.
Yeah.
And if you want to heal, you got to understand you have to heal yourself.
Right.
That's one of the things somebody said out there, that if a man meets the right woman, he would change for that woman. I'm telling you, if the man understand himself with the right woman, he will understand why to make better change. It start with self. It shouldn't start with somebody saying the right woman and putting the wrong vision on the wrong thing. It has to be back at you. You are the strongest person. Not be looking saying that your woman ain't. No, it starts with you. Her strength adds with yours. That's where it becomes a dynamic team. But with yours broken, and you expecting her just to do it, that's where the failure comes from.
Right. And that's kind of a lesson.
To go back to you.
Yeah, that's kind of a lesson in I have to be the rock.
Yes,
and
a stronger rock.
That's not always the man either. Sometimes that's the woman. I have to be the rock. I like where you're going with my expectations, because when you talk about family love, and you start to you have expectations for your family. They're going to be successful. They're not going to get put in jail. They're not going to do drugs. They're not going to do this stuff, and they do it. That sometimes this is a crossroad. It's kind of a fork in the road that really never separates, if this makes sense. Versus the conflict between love versus man. That we have to separate men from the things that they do. And that's not always easy. We have to separate. You still love a man for him being a man or being a person or being a child of God, but they might do wrong. And it doesn't mean that you can't love them. This is a Christ-like principle. It doesn't mean you cannot love them. You have to love people through their faults, right? And especially with a family member. Your pops disappointed you. Hey, you still love him, but you might not lean on him anymore for anything, right? You might not expect anything from him else. And Buddha says that's really the way to live life, is to have no expectations. No expectations and no expectations and no desires equal no disappointments. Right?
Right.
No disappointments. That's what he said. He said our unhappiness comes from our disappointed expectations.
Right.
So if we didn't have expectations and we could love people far enough or close enough to just love them and separate them from the things that they do in the world, we'll find that we'll start to experience pure love, or we'll start to experience unconditional love, right? There's nothing wrong with loving a person who has hurt you. There's nothing wrong with loving a person who did you wrong.
Buddha just
Right?
gave you a finger.
I thought he was shooting a bird at you.
Oh.
He shooting a bird at me?
Yeah.
What the hell did
He
I
got
do?
2 birds up, man.
I see the
That's
birds
what I'm saying.
now. I'm catching them
I
both.
seen it.
What's the birds for?
Man, he got issues.
Oh, you want to hate on people who
Yes.
have hurt you?
On the show.
You wish them damnation and destruction? Is that what you're trying to say? They
Okay.
have they have no, if they hurt you,
All right.
they have no more good in the world.
I
right?
tell you what, we gonna get back
That's-
to his fingering because we got Jeffrey on the line. We're
That's
gonna
it.
go ahead and just bring Jeffrey in at this point because somebody in the
I wanna-
audience is being very rude.
I wanna talk
We're
about
gonna
that.
talk about that in the next episode.
Yes.
Because Buddha's in the building. Buddha acting like butt. Buddha smelling like a mug tonight. Okay. But we got this
That wasn't
person
the
that's
Buddha I was
coming on
talking
next.
about. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
We
go
got this
ahead.
person coming up next. This person right here. I don't know how his day went. If his day went good, we might feel good. But if not, oh well. It's gonna be some slobber snapped out your mouth tonight. Jeffrey, how you doing, big baby?
Brother Jay, Brother Krabs, how's it going, fellas?
Man, it's going lovely. Lovely and more
Yes.
lovely, man. Always glad to have you with us. Excited about your segment tonight. Boy, you always lay it down. I mean, you really got away with words, bro. I'm just saying it's just so special. So we doing good, man. How are you tonight?
Oh, man, the weather wasn't quite as hot. The traffic was just as bad. My granddaughter still loves me. And
Yes.
you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
It's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions. I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man. So why you might be single, but before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now, see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Now, ladies, you go first. Ladies, some of you are single simply because you use your mouthpiece to destroy rather than to uplift and build. I want you to understand me, ladies. All you know how to do is criticize and condemn, complain and confront. You don't know nothing about comforting and cooperation. You don't know nothing about partnership. You don't know nothing about getting to that next level by working interdependently on your man because you're so damn independent trying to be in a relationship. Ladies, I need you to understand something. The relationship ain't all about you anyway. If you don't bring enough to the relationship to sustain me and my kinghood, you don't deserve a role mouthpiece of yours. It can build or it can break a man. And right now in this day and age, we ain't got time for being broken because we got enough stuff out there to deal with. So what we gonna do is we gonna leave you, that bad mouth of yours, that ratchet ass attitude, and that crazy ass disposition, single.
Single.
By yourself.
Now and forevermore deemed.
By yourself.
Right? Listen, a bad attitude doesn't work anywhere in the world.
Nope.
I've never seen it work. I've never seen it prosper
Gotta go.
anybody. I've never seen it help anybody get to the next level in their life.
No, it's not gonna.
The mouthpiece can bring you down, and that's
All
what
the
Jeffrey
way.
talking about. And I met a number of people who just didn't seem to be able to talk about anything positive.
So, gang.
And I don't know if that was just a sickness going on in their mind. They just never had anybody around them who were positive, but
Who's a mental?
they just never talked about anything that
They ain't know
made
how.
good sense, right? So we applaud you for bringing that, Brother Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Listen, we got
What's
just a
next?
little haze over your voice tonight. I'm not sure if there's anything on your end that might make a difference, but it was just a
Next.
little muffled.
All right, I'll talk. I'll try to project a little bit more. Is that better?
Ooh.
That is better, just a little
Silent
better.
and
sir.
strong, Jeffrey. Go on, hey, Jeffrey. Get him. Oh, wait a minute. You on
All
the
right,
medium.
wonderful.
Be soft.
Wonderful,
Be soft.
wonderful. With that said, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Now you're getting the full-blown projection. Fellas, you are next.
Mm.
Fellas, you don't even know how, I'm sorry, fellas, some of your asses are single because you don't know how to inspire submission in your woman. I need you to understand, you can't demand or command true submission. You can command resentment, rejection, ill will, and ill feeling, but you can't command or demand submission. Submission is something that's given to you as a gift. When you lead the way and that way is trustworthy. When you know the path and that path is noteworthy. When you're able to stand up and provide for that woman through provision of spirit, provision of essence of the physical essence, and you're also able to provide for that woman in case something pop off. Nah, this is how you are. You sitting there wondering if something pop off, if you can hide behind her, if you can borrow $40 from her, if you can bring some food from the table that she provided. Nah, fellas, that's not how it works. Protection and submission go hand in hand. If you're not protecting your woman from herself, from external enemies, and from the outside world, you don't deserve submission. In fact, your ass don't even deserve a damn date. In fact, you deserve to sit your ass at home single.
For a very long time.
Ooh, my goodness, my
so
goodness.
you didn't have a good day at work, eh? I mean, is that your way of summing up? You had a bad day, Jeffrey? I mean, you didn't have to go there with the men. I mean, you were real light on the women tonight. I'm going to tell you right now, you scored 2 points on the men.
Listen, he talked about something that I'm not sure men are ready for, right?
What's that?
This is real big boy talk, right?
I'm down with it.
He said you have to inspire submission.
That's correct.
Man, do you know what goes into such a thing?
Well, you got to remember, most people demand.
Yeah.
You can't demand what you don't have control over. You don't got control, but you think you do.
Yeah, but let me tell you what inspire submission equals respect.
Oh, yes.
Right? And when she respects me, she'll follow my lead.
And she'll do what?
She'll listen to me.
She'll do what?
She'll understand my nature.
Say it again, Crab.
She'll do things
what?
for me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to tell you.
To inspire submission is what great men have learned to do with their wives and their women and their men. You can't demand anything, but when you lead by example, when you lead from the front, he also talked about men who might lead from the back. And you can't lead from the back.
No,
right?
no, that's the caboose. You just on the ass end.
Yeah, you need
you on the ass down.
You on the ass end.
You on the ass end. You need to get on the front end.
Yeah.
You got to lead that train. You got to make that locomotive. Choo choo.
We got Reverend J in the house. Listen, I think the point well taken, Brother Jeffrey. We love it, and for those of us who needed it, we receive it, and we'll hand the floor back over to you, my friend.
Yes.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we have to learn is how to learn and respect each other and our roles in the relationship. Now, this new modern movement that's talking about no gender roles, honestly, I'm going to tell you that is some bull. You need some men out there. You need some women out there. You need those archetypes to be lived up to faithfully and honestly. There can't be no genderless relationship. Yeah, everybody wants to be successful. Yeah, everybody wants to get it done, but you need that male man, that male there, and you need that woman there, because there are different things that we bring to the table that provide balance. Balance is the name of the game, and once we get ourselves balanced in our communities again, then our business owners will be able to cater to our needs, because we got a whole household of people ready to spend some money in the neighborhood, and building our neighborhoods up is key, because our children grow up in homes, and when our children grow up in homes with a mother and a father, what they tend to get is a better outlook on life, healthier outcomes in school, and a more robust, rewarding view of the world at large.
Yes.
Now listen, I would say that's all I got, but I got one more thing.
Go ahead.
There is no substitute for a black man and a black woman loving on each other. Now, I'm not discriminating against anybody. Hey, you can have whatever gender binary you want and live your life however you want to. That's fine. What I will tell you is that we have achieved our greatest results when we had the intact family in the home. And I look forward to us having those types of results again very soon, and that's all I got.
Ooh.
Man, let me tell
Jeffrey
you.
for president.
Jeffrey for president.
I ain't
bruh.
lying. You might not make it though, Jeffrey.
Oh man, that is so
They
powerful.
ain't ready for you,
bruh.
man. You start that, yeah.
Oh,
you
my.
gonna need Secret Service for real.
Oh my goodness, that's good, man. That's good. Listen, ain't
Oh,
nothing
he
we
on
can
it.
say on that. Let me just ask you. We just take a couple of minutes here and get your 40,000 foot on the topic for tonight. Why do we reserve a place in our hearts for people who don't make an effort to try?
Man, listen, we do that because we romanticize the person that we can't have, and we take for granted the person that wants us. See, the person who doesn't want us, we tend to give them extra gloss. Everything they do is so desirable because they're just beyond reach. So our imagination begins to hype them up, beautify them, or embellish who they are as an individual. When in reality, once we often attain that person that we had lusted for and desired for so many years, we discover that they really ain't. It's a waste of time. So what we have to learn how to do, we have to learn how to appreciate the people who appreciate us instead of appreciating something through our imagination that we can't obtain anywhere, and if we got it, we wouldn't want to keep it.
I love that, man. I love that. I can't even comment. I got to take this note.
Go ahead, write that note down right there, Crab. I'm telling you right now. He shut a lot of folks up on that one.
Oh my God! Listen, man, we got to get out of here. We thank you so much for your commentary and for being with us every week. You're a great part of this show, man. Just about everybody who talks to me about the show mentions Jeffrey.
Yes.
And your commentary, so it makes a difference, man. And one day we're gonna be on a much bigger stage, and I promise you, all the cut you deserve is gonna be right there, man. No doubt. So we appreciate you. Any parting words for us, man?
Oh, man, I'm looking forward to that level of abundance. When we all get there, we all get there together. I love it.
Absolutely. We love you too, my friend.
One thing I got to say to you, Jeffrey, I mean, you need to quit your damn job. I don't know what they keep doing to you at that job, but if y'all don't quit it, I'm telling you, I'm going to come down there and we're going to have to have some ramifications. We're going to move some desks because I ain't that violent. I'm moving some desks.
No, listen.
What?
Don't mess with it now. You be a good host. You're a
I'm
good
a
co-host.
good host, but I'm going to move some desks. They keep messing with my man. He keeps acting up.
Listen, and because of his strife over there, he put together some good
He
presentations.
do, but
right?
they
So
can't
leave him
keep
alone.
messing with him like that.
Yeah, leave him alone, man.
He
Leave him
might-
alone. Let him get on his
man, he might
last
stress
nerve.
out and
You
blow
know,
up or something.
rainy days are always his best days.
Rainy days is, but hell, when he get happy, I don't know what he gonna do.
All right, brother Jeffrey. We'll talk next week, man. Take care.
All right, take it easy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We
I'm
are
going
wrapping up.
LinkedIn. I'm gonna send him some resumes.
We are
some resumes, other things.
We are wrapping up with
Gonna make him happy.
this segment, and we hope you enjoying the show. I'm having a lot of fun here
Yeah, me
tonight,
too.
and I hope you are too. So
Wait till we
stay
come
tuned.
back. It's gonna be
We
on.
want you to, just continue to be with us tonight. The next part of the show is when Jay and I really go in.
We're gonna go in.
And we don't know what we're going to grasp. We don't know what we're going to get out of the subject, but there's always some magic that comes out of these dialogues. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
Goodbye. All right, song with a song.
My name is Mercy. Hello? Hello? Okay.
We back,
All right,
man.
all
We got
right.
all kinds of special stuff coming up in the
Yeah.
house tonight. We had Jeffrey come in a little bit later than normal, so we had to change up the game a little bit, but he gave it like he always do. So one of the things I want to make sure we do is get back to what we was doing. So
Yeah.
welcome back. We're Bar
Yeah.
Talk with Jay. Me and Kraft about to go in and have a little bit of fun tonight.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Let's do it. Let's do it, Smoke Jay.
I'm gonna have me a little fun with this one real quick.
Yeah, because
Go
I
ahead.
hear a pattern. Now, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
I like the pattern, but go ahead and give me the topic for everybody to know what we talking about.
Okay.
Make sure everybody know.
Tonight we are talking. Why do we reserve a place in our hearts for people who don't make an effort to stay or to try?
Now, perception is everything when it comes to this. And I had a situation,
Okay.
all right? And I'm going to go back on my personal.
Yeah,
all right?
please,
Go back
please.
in my past, all right? And I had somebody to fire me like 5 times.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, how you get fired 5 times? Obviously, I wasn't doing a damn good job, all right? But again, when you dating,
Okay.
a lot of times everything doesn't align, okay? Because again, you're not giving everything because I'm not asking her to be wifey. She's not asking me to be husband. But as we're
Yes.
dating,
Yes,
we're
she
getting
is.
past the representative. The representative got to go, and I need to find out what I'm dealing with.
Right.
So as you start dealing with the real person, you start realizing that, ooh, we starting to run into some things.
Right.
All right? Now that right there led her to feel like, okay, I'm going to let him go. And then she came back. Because one of the things I started with was real care. All right?
Okay.
Now that went back and forth. And like I said, I got dumped several different times along the way. And again, they'd be like, well, who would just dump you? Please understand, everybody don't see everybody the same way. And that's just how life is. And perfectly, I tell you, I ain't perfect anyway. So when I went down this path of getting fired, and she asked me, well, you know something, I fired you, but you can't say nothing because you still was hired. You still was there. And she was like, well, why did you even stay in the first place? I said, because even though you fired me, I looked at what you did with the rest of your people in your family. You never fired your child. You never fired your family. You stayed there.
Yeah.
You let me
That's
go
good.
because again,
That's
I went against some of your beliefs and what you felt like I should be. But the bottom line, you still held on to me
Yes.
to a point. But I really looked at your actions towards everybody else. Because I'm trying to learn you. Can you align with me to make me feel like I don't want to fire you? You can fire me all day long. You don't mean you're going to leave me, bro.
Right. Right.
It's a whole lot of jobs ain't for you.
Right.
But when you align with somebody, they'll find a way to get back to you.
Yes.
Because you already on the move. You're
Yes.
doing something. I
So-
told you it start with you.
So let me ask you this question.
What you got for me?
You know, that's a familiar story. That's a familiar story.
I told you before or something.
People break up and
okay,
get back
okay,
together,
okay.
break up and get back together all the time, right?
I ain't say
So-
I didn't want to say like I just keep going back. I mean, she fired my ass.
I know.
I ain't go back. I got thrown to the curb.
I know.
She put me out the pasture.
Yeah, but you,
my bad. Keep going.
You know you was creating that scenario.
You know
every
something.
time,
You know
right?
you're starting
You
to
know.
snitch. Now we did not rehearse this shit. Stop it, Kraft.
I mean, listen, she ain't fired you for no reason. She ain't just woke up and said, "Let me fire Jay." It was some bullshit that happened, and
You know
and she
something.
got a hold of it, and she said, "I'm gonna get rid
Have
of
you
it."
tried this new drink that our bartender's making? Because you really need a Snicker right about now.
Listen.
Marsha.
I think it's a perfect story for what we are trying to achieve here tonight. It's a
Yes.
perfect story, right?
Okay.
So she fired you, but she still got a special place for you in her heart. And that's why she keep coming back, whether you want to come back or not. If she comes into your world, you obviously like her, love her enough that you keep accepting her back too, right?
No.
I
Kraft.
imagine after
Kraft,
the...
you said accept her back. She fired me. I never quit her.
You never quit her.
She quit
I like
me.
that, Jay.
I
like
never
that.
quit her.
So she had a special place in your heart too.
She had a special place, and she was saying she wanted something, and she thought that would make me be a different person. Okay, even if she did that, it ain't gonna make me change me. It's gonna make me be even stronger. I ain't giving up on you. I see that you can carry. You can carry some loads, but my thing is, I just don't bow down. It doesn't. As a man, when you realize where you at,
Right.
you will realize you're not giving up. You're about to change up.
Right.
It is where I am going here, and I'm not going down to get to no one.
Right.
You're going to rise up with me.
Right.
To be with me, you got to align with me, and we're going to roll together.
I like that.
So you think one going to go, no, that doesn't happen with me. You can do it with somebody else, and you probably had great results. Love that for you.
Right.
It don't work for me.
Right.
My whole thing is, that
Okay.
ain't elevating. That's not. A lot of times, your personal decisions of what you want is personal.
Okay, let me break this down just a little bit.
I'm
right?
listening.
I'm not trying to snitch here, Jay.
Yeah, I thought you was.
No, I'm just trying to understand.
You was real
right?
damn close to snitching.
What you basically said was she really want to get married. She really want to have you in her life forever, and you keep acting up, and so she keep having to give up on the idea of having you forever. So she fire you, knowing that she still love you and still wants you in her life. And so the question becomes, how long does that go on? How much time do you put into that?
It doesn't go on forever. What it is you got to make sure it's a total alignment. You just don't cave in because that's what they're doing, and something. I'm going to make them happy. That's why people are married unhappily now.
Right.
You have to have that resolve to understand you. If it's something in you that you need to get out, you need to start resolving it and getting it out, but not sitting back.
So watch this.
And playing.
You can see very clearly that she's on a one-way train to nowhere.
Something you can say she's
so caring for her, right? But you're really, if she got a special place in your heart, you're kind of obligated to cut the tie and let her find a dream come true.
First of all, she cut the tie. What the hell you talking? I got five ties. She cut the tie, bro.
Listen, you can't get 5 more than once without giving in.
What you talking about? No, she just handed me the separation paper. I was trying to get unemployment.
I don't care what you say.
I deserve something.
If you got back together,
a lot of time.
If you got back together, right? Then you know what I'm saying. You
being honest with you, Kraft,
as much as she is.
She fired me because again things didn't happen in a time frame that she thought it should.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
But
now hold on. The thing you got to realize is, it's not about we say let go. And I'm gonna tell you about letting something go. When somebody is in your life and they give value to your life, watch when you say just let go because it don't fit a timeline. Because that's something that you need to recognize, because now you're starting to get worldly when you need to realize everything is not going to be on your timeline. But when something is aiding you and helping you and not destroying you and bringing you down, watch how you want to sever.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing, she broke up and she didn't sever. The reason she didn't completely sever, because I'm still pumping inspiration into her. Why would I give up pushing positive thing into a person I care for as well?
Yes.
She might have thought she broke up with me.
Right.
I never severed a tie.
Yeah.
And I kept pushing, and because again, I don't know where this is going to land.
Right.
But I'm not going to give up on a person I care for.
Right.
She ain't give up on her family. She ain't give up on her child. She ain't give up on nothing. She gave up on me because I didn't fit a timeline.
Right.
That ain't a real cut to me.
Yeah.
That just shows me she's a strong woman. I'm good with that because I'm a damn strong man.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be broken or being, like I said, just temporarily swayed because of a feeling.
Yeah. And so let me just see if I can dive into this just
Feel
a little
free,
bit
man.
more, because
Go on here, get mad.
I mentioned earlier that I see a pattern.
Okay, what kind of pattern?
And the pattern is that we are constantly, throughout our entire lives, romanticizing love. And we never meeting Mr. Right. We never meeting Mrs. Right. We never seem to get that thing that we're looking for. And so we're walking through life romanticizing something that probably isn't real, isn't true, isn't good for you. And it's all of us. It's all of us. We're all romantic. And it doesn't just work for relationships. It even works for you mess around and go and get you a S-Body 560, 663, whatever it is.
Nice.
Go get you one of them, right?
Okay, where that go?
Yeah, you know.
I ain't got nothing to do with me sexually.
No.
Hey, oh, you trying to say you gonna give me something?
No, I'm trying to change the subject.
My bad. I thought you was trying to help me. I mean, you had my mind somewhere.
You helping me forget what I was talking
But
about.
hell,
right
you
now.
helped me too. Shit, you threw a card. I thought you was R. Kelly. And you remind me of Majid. I'm like, what the hell?
So what I'm talking about is romanticizing ideas. You go and buy that big nice house, and it just ain't what you thought it was gonna be. It's
Crab.
not. It doesn't fulfill
Crab.
you to have that big
Crab.
nice house, and it necessarily doesn't fulfill you.
Crap. I bought this big ass house because my ex-wife told me she was gonna do me in every room. I said, you know how many rooms in this damn house? Hell yeah, I bought it. No, it was a failed contract.
I'm gonna let you.
Now, do we need to go into contract?
I'm gonna let you finish this topic, man. I can't do no harm, man.
I'm just trying to say, sometimes we get shafted. You got to
And
hire other
listen,
people to hire.
That's what I'm talking about. We romanticize some bullshit, right?
Didn't I just help you?
Right?
On your I fantasized.
Listen,
I got shafted.
you are gonna get shafted if you dreaming about something that ain't real.
She told me a good. I thought it was a good idea.
You are setting yourself up for a disappointment.
It was a huge
If you
one.
think this cute,
I wasn't even halfway through. She let me know.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen with me. That is not what was promised. I had to go back into dialogue. You said you was gonna do this, damn it. You ain't even make it through the basement.
you ain't even warned me. You could have wrote me a note or something before I tied 3 years into your black ass.
She was like, get over it. No. It's a broken promise. No. You know what this house costs? Shit, I got the taxes on this. Might not know she ain't paid it.
Listen.
I paid a whole lot for some. Listen, I could have. Man, folding desk was $70. If she only knew when I found out, I overpaid.
Listen, I know you're making fun, but here go the reality of the situation.
Shit, the hell was fun. It cost me a lot of money.
We talked about all them relationships
That cost me a lot of money.
that never ended up in engagement and marriage.
Shit.
Somebody saw something along the way.
Somebody saw that person for $70 saw it too. And she didn't see it, she felt it. It was a hell of a lot cheaper. Look at my bank account now. Jesus.
Jesus. Why didn't you warn me?
That was not what I was expecting.
Why didn't you help me, Lord?
Put hands on my check.
I got a question for you, Lord. Can you get back the other half of my shit?
Before the pearly gates get, they gotta get half on it. I got 5 on it. I'm telling you, man, it can get dark out there. It can get dark though. It ain't
I don't know where we going right now. It may be time for
going to
another
hell.
break.
Hell, just, man, I'm telling you, I'm at least
listen,
telling on the upfront.
Hey, as funny as this is, this is about chasing false expectations, right? This is all about chasing false expectations, chasing something that is not designed for you.
That's right.
I love how the two just tie together all this humor.
Because you had to keep him crying. You be like, this shit happened for real. It happened. It happened. It's just you have to learn to grow. Situations happens all the time, and one of the things that I liked about the topic is, you made a space in your heart, and you be like, why would you do that for a person that's not there? You got to understand, I made that space because of me. When I make that space because of me, no matter the fact that she feel it or not, I made it because I was already strong.
Right.
That space already was in a protection mode. So I already grew to what it could be. Now the problem is a lot of times you try to put something in and you have nothing to put in on. You have no real substance.
Right.
Okay? So then you wonder why you can't keep what you got, because you got to understand you. But when you understand you just don't cave in and give in to anything. They will understand you better.
Right.
And that's when I say you get past the representative, and then guess what? That's why 5 times of being quit. She didn't quit either, because again, it keeps going for a reason. They start understanding you're not the same person. You're not what they dated. You do things off of your past. You judge things off of you. And you start being judgmental. But when you get somebody like me, you might not be quick to want to judge me, because I'm not going to come like you think I'm going to come. I'm cut from a different piece that you ain't used to. So when you deal with me, you're going to start seeing that I don't anger quickly. Some of the things that you do don't bother me, but it doesn't mean that I don't care for you. It just it is not for me. Right. So when I don't really mold what you used to grab and I can shape you by doing this, and I'm all over the place because you ain't meant to shape me. I've been shaped before you grabbed me. You grabbed onto a vessel that was not to be shaped. I was already there. You ain't used to that because you used to making somebody into something. That's why somebody want to build a bear. You can't build this.
You can't build this.
This was already there. So when I'm spinning around and you thinking you gonna shape this, that's why you're mad.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna damn happen.
Yeah.
So guess what? Now it's opposition.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, even
Yeah.
when you quit, you go back and that substance that you grabbed showed you something different.
Yeah.
You should always add encouragement to anybody you with.
Yeah.
That way when you
I-
go your own way and you get mad, it ain't even the same.
Yeah, and if I would paraphrase, you basically said, "Don't give up on me because I don't give you what you want." Right?
But I might
Don't
be
look-
giving you what you need.
Don't lose that special place in your heart because I didn't give you what you want. If it's truly special, then I'll be able to fill that space, and you
Say it again,
Either
Craig.
way,
Say it
right?
again. You come on back.
listen. I was trying to get to a point, and
What point
I'd
was
love to
on?
cover more of it in our last segment. Chasing dreams.
Okay.
That's a big issue, man. Chasing dreams. We're getting our heart and emotions and all our being tied up into things that again aren't real. And I think we need to spend a little more time on that subject.
No, I want to go back because even one of the things you used to tell me, and that's one of the things I always love about you, you say Mrs. Kraft. You speak of her as, again, Mrs. Kraft because, again, you knew Mrs. Kraft when you met her in the club.
Right.
I remember these stories, but you got to go back and listen to the other shows to find out what I'm talking about. So I ain't going to go back in that dialogue because I want you to listen to the shows. But one of the things I want to say is you brung that up and you seen it. So you had a thought of what she could be.
Yes. I mean, I have
Now-
a clear vision.
There you go. With
Of
that
Mrs.
clear
Kraft.
vision,
Yeah.
it helps you when you start meeting people
Right.
to save you time.
Save you time.
And, now,
Yes.
and to me, it ain't always, and a lot of people say, well, he just being judgmental. If I know me and I know what I am, I know what's going to love me, and I
Right.
know enough about me. And that way I can see what aligns with me.
Yeah.
So, again, that's where I say you have to love yourself because a person need to align with you.
Right.
Y'all say just love you. Guess what? Everybody going to love your behind.
Right.
All right? Everybody going to like you.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that I'm not in relationship with at all, but we align.
We align.
And we're going great places
Okay.
because we have a relationship that's not based on sexual. Everything is not going to align that direction.
Yeah.
But you need to know where the hell you going so you can help people align. That way, when they start talking certain ways, you going to do this. I don't fold because it ain't for me to fold.
Right.
We might not ever be that, but we can be a whole lot more if you understand me. At that point, we can still be a dominant force. But please understand, it's a respect level to this game. And you don't always see it because you always caught up in self. When you're in a relationship, you got to be unselfish, being
There you go.
honest, which is because you're giving up a piece of self. It gets lost in there. And
you
I
go.
understand it. But it's not
There you
me
go.
saying nothing more than anybody that I'm encouraging. I got encouraged. My mom pushed a lot in me to make sure I push a lot in other people. For I can make sure I leave a legacy on this earth of what I'm doing to surpass me that was given to me. It was a blessing to me.
Yeah.
And I want to pass it on to somebody else so anybody I dated can still say that they enjoyed me,
Yeah.
even though they might not be with me. And that's not true to
Yeah,
most
and that's
relationships.
a great way to summarize a special place in your heart. You know what I mean? To reserve a place in your heart for somebody who you never had a certain type of relationship with doesn't mean you can't carry that person around in your heart. You know, I met some people on planes before who I had wonderful dialogue with, and excuse me, got to know their got to know
the
their.
bathroom with them. You go to Mile High Club. You know you.
Nah,
you
man,
know.
no, we just talk.
Oh yeah, I was just asking. You know, because if you did, you got pictures. You got videos. Yeah,
Hey,
bar talk
listen.
with Jay now after hours.
Y'all folks, hold on. We turning the subject around. This is a spin-off. It's time for us
My
to take
bad.
another break. And again, we hope you're enjoying the show. Y'all stay tuned. Jay and I are going to come back and wrap up this
Now,
show
hold on.
just like we do.
I got to do a special guest thing.
Okay?
My bartender's gonna do something nice, and we ain't gonna play no music. One of the things I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna bring her Russia. This is the one that's gonna make drinks for you tonight. She gonna say her own name. She got her own mic. She better put that mic up to her mouth. She's gonna talk tonight.
Testing.
One of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna bring her on. One of the things we trying to do is just pour it out. I'm not just pushing alcohol, and I always want somebody to drink responsibly and safe, okay? But one of the things I'm saying is we are pouring things out. We're making you comfortable. I'm not saying you have to drink to be comfortable. You can drink orange juice, water. You can drink whatever you like. My man Craftmatic drinks healthy drinks for a long time. I drink a little bit of beer, but the bottom line, we're gonna drink responsible, and we want to make sure you understand we about you. So pour it out with us, and I'm gonna make a special drink tonight. And this is what happened if you go to a bar talk with Jay. If you get selected to come on into the studio, you get to taste exactly what she do. So it's not about us tasting and saying something like, "Ooh, it tastes good," and then I gotta cuss out at the end of the show, be like, "That shit nasty." No, we do real taste sampling here, and one of the things you got to be over 21. And again, this is on me because I'm giving back to the community responsibly. So don't over here acting like 50 million drinks and all my beers and everything else now. So what we got tonight, girl?
We have a Inertia Tropical Storm.
Okay. Tell us how you gonna make your stone, girl.
So basically, it's 2 shots of Hennessy,
Mm-hmm.
a shot of mango.
I mean, the Hennessy behind you, girl. You can be pouring and doing because we gotta taste this, you know. Because keep holding the mic and do it. Yeah. Crab, hold up to her mouth. Hold up to her mouth, Crab. This is gonna be a sex show tonight. How you make that drink again, girl?
All right, so it's 2 shots of Hennessy.
Mm-hmm. All in your mouth. Get a little closer, Crab. She gonna get pregnant tonight. You should be handling that bottle. Do you see? I should just grab that thing. She got a little grip on her. Okay, get it, Ursha. Who got a shot of Hennessy? Oh, hey, do it, girl. What else you got?
All right, we got the 2 shots of Hennessy
You got the 2 shots.
in the shot.
Got a little dab of mango mix.
Mango mix. Let me see that.
Mango mix. Mango
I might
mix.
have that. I need some of that at the crib.
No, this is the Bar Talk with Jay special now. This is our commercial tonight.
And then we have
What else?
peach margarita.
Peach margarita.
Peach margarita.
Yeah, you want to
shots
get
of
that right
Hennessy.
here, Bar Talk with Jay, yo.
And a dab of Sprite.
And a dab of Sprite. What's a dab, girl? Just like, this, okay. The girl said, dab. She a Cam fan, dab.
All right, 2 shots
Cam.
of Hennessy,
Mhm.
some mango mix, what was that third thing? Peach margarita.
Peach margarita.
Peach margarita, and a little bit of Sprite. About a shot of Sprite.
We're going to have y'all right tonight.
I can't wait
Crab,
to get on this.
my Jamal was talking about them vitamins. I'm going to show y'all another vitamin tonight. You had this drink right here, you going to perform very well. Okay? Alcohol do some things for you. Mm-hmm. Besides put you to sleep, because I've been known for that. That's when you drink too much. That's not good. That's not. You have to get it right before that point.
Why? And that's it.
Okay, that's it. All right, y'all. That's the special drink for the night. So, again, we trying to change the game. We're going to have her here more and more. My man, Kraft Man, gave a seal of approval, y'all. Yes. Hand clap. Hand clap. Shake it. Break. Bake it. Yeah. Okay. Crazy is going to get her a second one. Oh, Lord. You know she ain't normal. Ain't normal.
Listen, this is fabulous, man.
Now I'm gonna tell you, one of the things we trying to do is do things differently. On the webpage, I put drinks out there all the time. Everything is about drink responsibly. Want to make sure y'all understand. Over 21. Anybody that's younger than that, please understand. No disrespect, but wait till you're 21.
Yeah.
All right? And then drink responsibly because, again, I don't want drinking and driving. But when we sit down, we're in our feelings. One of the things that I'm trying to do is get you calm so we can talk about some of the problems that we have.
Yeah.
I'm not saying alcohol is a cure. That is not it. Okay? Not like with weed, marijuana, heroin, and anything else. I'm not trying to say that is necessary to get you to calm down and realize you got a problem.
Right.
I want you to realize that you are special. And you need to talk to somebody special, and we specially here for you.
Yeah.
This show is about bringing spirituality back to you and make you strong and whole.
Okay.
Now, again, I'm fighting a fight that, again, don't let the liquor fool you. This is a spiritual fight that we want to make you change what you're looking at and what you do. And I like to say we was tainted from childhood, from history that was taught through school to a point where we grew up to realize everything was not true to what we was taught. Now we have to live our lives according to how we want to live at this point. God gave you the power and the will to make choice.
There you go.
make the best one for you now from what you've been taught. Now, if you ain't learned nothing, you're going to repeat everything. Everything is not to be repeated. That's where wisdom comes from. To change the game and realize that we got to do something different in our lives to achieve something better for everyone. Now, when you do it, somebody want to repeat you like I be seeing on TV. I'm not trying to be the best them. I'm trying to be the best me.
Yeah.
That's why I got fired 5 times.
Yeah.
And I might get fired 10 more. Just
Yeah.
understand, everybody's not going to understand me.
Right.
Everybody's not going to be with me. And then everybody ain't going to end with me.
Right.
That's the problem why people want things to work. You don't want to end up by self. Understand self and you won't be by self.
Right.
You ain't living right. You ain't going to be right. You trying to justify a badass action because of you saying you a man. That's a default. How about a man with a mission makes a statement?
Okay.
This other stuff I'm hearing is bullshit. So guess what? I can give game like anybody else. But one of the reasons why somebody don't want to quit you, because when they can see something in you.
Right.
When you are fighting a fight that makes sense, when you giving and not just telling, I'm willing to listen.
Okay.
And the problem of the day, we giving whatever is said. That's why this ain't barbershop. I'm not trying to enhance you or entertain you. I am to shape you. And if you hard, you can understand how I am. And that's why I don't mold.
Right.
But one thing I can tell you, I still appreciate you putting your hands on me. It's not for you to change me. It's also for me to change you.
There you go.
Everything that applies pressure ain't evil.
Right.
Because don't pressure makes diamonds? Buddha.
Yeah, it does.
Buddha. Don't pressure make diamonds?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you pressing on coal and diamonds come from coal, it changed the dimensions of the coal into something worth a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Not just a lot of money. One of the things Buddha even said, pressure busts pipes, but yet it makes diamonds.
Yes.
Pressure is needed. So when you keep saying, I want to live pressure free, please understand there is no such thing because pressure makes diamonds. It's needed. Like evil. I ain't saying all these evil acts is what we want. It's just an offset to make you greater.
Okay.
Everything ain't going to be in your favor. Some people feel like it is. That's up to you. But when I really look at it, everything is not in your favor.
So here's what you're saying when you say that. You're saying if I look at a 40-year-old person, 50-year-old person who has never been married, don't have kids, that their lot in life, kind of what they were born and designed to do, was to just take a lot of mishaps in their relationships. Like they try to seek love for years and years and years and years, and what you're saying is that they just are getting taught. They're getting taught by the Lord on some things that they don't need, and they're forced to develop restraint and hold back. I'm not sure. I necessarily agree with that.
I don't want you to agree with me.
Yeah. I
don't want to feel everybody. I want you to disagree with me in my life.
Yeah. I'm just making case in point that it is not necessarily that that you did something wrong in your life or whatever, that you continue to have these mishaps. What we are saying tonight is that you potentially are romanticizing the wrong people or the wrong things in an effort to be happy.
Right, but do I know that? See, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you totally.
But listen,
because I didn't always know.
Yeah, it takes some common sense. The only way I can say to get to the mentality that you need to be when you meet a person is you got to pray over them. That's the only way to get to all of the answer, right? Lord, if this person's for me, bring them closer. If this person's not for me, take them far away. Give me some understanding, some wisdom, and let me know what I'm dealing with. Take off the mask, take off the cape, take off the nonsense, and let me see the real person here so I can make a clear decision to whether they need to be in my life. That's the only way you're going to get to that whole and truth. You're not going to be able to, because people are together for 30 years and still don't know each other, right?
Now, I agree with you, but if you like me and do a little different, I throw about $60 on the dresser stand, right? Okay. Because at that point, it changed the whole game. Now, this don't work for everyone, but you got to understand prices. It's different ways to look at things, crap.
So
But again, this way right here might not be okay.
listen, let's talk. I wanted to cover real quickly.
This different, crap. This different. This,
Chasing dreams.
you ain't never
man.
did that? Is that way to chase? I'm trying to control costs.
Let's not talk about coming costs. You on the budget?
Yeah, I'm trying to cut costs.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, they can get ridiculous. You
Yeah.
can start throwing out numbers to be like,
They can get ridiculous.
I don't know where you got that from.
Yeah.
But from what I smelled, that ain't worth that. Yeah, that should be free with penicillin.
You better not say that on the show.
Oh,
nigga.
my bad. That what I just said.
You can't say that.
This
Okay.
right has to be excluded.
So
For other
let's
means.
throw relationships and love and all that stuff out the door, man. What
Okay.
would you say to somebody who you believe is chasing a dream?
Now, you got to understand when it comes to chasing a dream, craft, I had fun. And again, I know a lot of people like, why are you joking? Because it can be very harsh when you start looking at how you looking at somebody in interpretation. Like I said, getting fired 5 times is kind of hard. But the bottom line is understanding how I went through it was the lesson. That person is a blessing. And that's how I look at people. Who's ever in my life is a blessing.
Yeah,
But what I would back up and say to you is, you know, you got to get away from you. When I really care for a person, I stop looking just at me. I start looking at them. You got to realize I have to get off a high horse because, again, I had to build me up to understand someone else.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I have to ignore them.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about love and relationships. I'm talking about someone who's chasing dreams outside of love. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you want to be an engineer, you want to be a rapper, you want to be a business owner, you want to
okay,
be, but
now I love this one.
Right? They're chasing something that
right.
they may not have the potential to
They
achieve.
might not, but guess what? What I love about they have a dream and they have the ambition, and you have the fortitude.
Okay.
When you start getting to the fortitude and you start understanding Google and understanding that you can look a lot of things up and start learning,
yes.
that it takes you to that next level. Because the bottom line, it starts with a dream. It starts with your mind. What
Yes.
takes from your mind is somebody else saying you can't. You ain't intelligent enough. You didn't go to school for it. All of them are dream killers. The best person to make you successful is you. They said something about Steve Harvey doing something for the billionaires, and Steve said, I ain't a billionaire. But you came from nothing.
Right.
A billionaire is willing to hear from you.
Right.
That's what makes me understand encouragement. Because you don't always come from something. You ain't always have to have an inheritance to realize you have a anointing.
Anointing. I like that.
That means I can make change to others.
Right.
It's up to you.
Right.
Now you want to wait for somebody else. Why? It was given to you. But it's up to you to take your anointing, which means you have to take that understanding of you. That's why most people are scared to do a thing of that nature. They be like, nah, I like being worldly. I like dealing with worldly and understanding of your gift is 2 different things.
Yeah. And what that brings me to is that faith without works is dead.
Boom!
Your dream without hard work is nothingness. And that's what I'm talking about, chasing dreams. You trying to be X, Y, and Z. You trying to be paid on a certain level. A lot of folks who are chasing money and they're chasing fame and they're chasing, lifestyle, and they're chasing this perception of prosperity that we all have, but they're not putting in any work. And if you are married and you are one of those folks, your spouse can see that you are not going hard at this thing you call your dream. And now, when you start to put money in, when you want to put time in, she has no more faith because she ain't seeing you put the work in.
No
You got
work at
these
all.
big dreams, but you want to go spend $1,000 on a trip, and you ain't even made your first product at home yet, right? So
Cause problem.
yeah, and this is kind of what I want to get to in the
to
subject,
it.
that faith without works is dead. If you have a dream and you are going to be a dream chaser, it is going to require a great deal of work. And here's the part that ties into the subject, that you have this great dream and you're spending money and time on it, that you're going to need a support group. And there are people like your mother, for example, or your aunt, who really believes in you achieving that goal. And they have a very special place in their heart when you talk about achieving their goal. They might lend you money. They might come to your shows. They might listen to your demos. They might read your book. They might do any of those things. But that special place is going to be based on what they see in you. And I don't want to get too deep here, but the people around us can see whether we're working hard toward these goals and objectives. And when we need help or support, that they're not going to give it to us if they haven't seen the works. They lose the special place in their heart for our goals and dreams when they don't see us putting in work. In other words, kind of the message is, don't talk about it if you ain't going to be about it. Don't talk about it if you ain't going to be about it. And there are many people who will become victims of prestige through their message. You know, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and they got a lot of mouth, they got a lot of words. You never see them go anywhere. You don't even see any of their products, you know. But yet, you know, they've talked themselves into this big dream, and all they're doing is just setting themselves up for a deep failure, right? Going back to romanticizing some shit that ain't real, right? It ties right back into the subject. We gotta stop fooling ourselves. If this person in front of you is not Mr. or Mrs. Right, you need to decide that. And it's not to say that you throw them to the curve, but you gotta determine if they're gonna be in your life and at what level they're going to be in your life. Because having a special place in your heart for someone leaves you vulnerable.
Right.
Right? And that vulnerability could get you hurt in some cases. But it's just important that we protect those special places that we have in other people's hearts. That's kind of what I want to say.
And I agree with you. One of the reasons I play around, and I mentioned this $70 and all the rest of that, that was for fun and games about some behaviors that happen. One of the things I want to say is I'm not trying to condone all them actions. What I'm trying to tell somebody is what you trying to sell might not have the value of what you selling. Because my whole thing is what you call yourself selling, I might not be really interested in, because what I really need from you is deeper than what you're trying to think it is.
Right.
It can be on a sexual note where you feel like that's what wins everything, and that's what's popping right now. And one of the things I can tell you, you have more to give a person than what you think you're offering a person. That is a small piece compared to when I deal with great people. A lot of great women in my life has never slept with me.
Bullshit.
Have you ever seen somebody sneeze purposely? Oh my God. Listen, I'm glad there ain't no poly test hooked to my black. Anyway,
and you was all
back
over it too. Like,
I was.
Was that the Lord caught me in my
No,
life?
it wasn't. I'm not calling on the Lord on that one. All I can say is Buddha and bully is being a bully. So one of the things I'm going to tell you is some of the greatest people did not. And I say it again, regardless of the shit they say, they did not. And it doesn't take away from the fact of what I learned.
Right.
Everybody that you meet might not go there with you.
Yeah.
And they still have value with you. Their whole thing is some people can see things other than what you see. My vision can be tainted. Theirs can be very clear.
Yeah.
You got to understand them just like where they're at, just like you always be stubborn and not willing to do that. And I'm telling you, you will stay stuck. When I'm telling you, there's a lot of great people that's going to come in your life that does not touch you in a sexual manner that can take you in great places. I have people in my life that I promise you that did not happen, but if I ask them for anything, they have me.
Yes, and that's a great point to make.
And you be like, why? Because they see the soul in you. They see things for you. I got crazy in the building. Crazy will tell you. And everybody know crazy. But Crazy will tell you, she know the integrity of what I try to do.
Yeah, and listen, I just want to make this point that
What's
is
that?
about salvaging good people and saving good people. Put a special place. Reserve a place in your heart for good people.
She like super glue. She just stuck to me. I mean, I don't know how that happened. It's just stuck.
As you pass people throughout life, there's only going to be a handful that become brotherly close.
That's true.
But there are still a ton more that come through that are good people, and who, not necessarily you're going to lean on everybody in your past for help or some sort, but just having that special place in your heart for them, might be an open door to help you get something you may need down the road. But people don't always have to be in your interpersonal world to have a space in your heart. I've got ex-employers, I've got ex-business partners, and some of those things didn't end well, right? But I love the people who they were. They had to do their job, I had to do my job, or maybe I had to move on to my destiny. But they are still good people, and I'm friends with many of them on Facebook. A lot of ex-bosses and ex-coworkers.
Can't
and
stand ass.
I mean,
it wasn't right.
yeah, think about it this way: you're a kid, right? And you have a fight with somebody, another kid down the street.
I still
right?
want to kick his ass.
Yeah, but later on, that kid becomes your best friend, right?
No, I wanted to find a good day to whip his behind again.
The special place that you have in your heart is because it was way beyond the fight. That the kid, he grew up down the street. You know what I'm saying? Y'all mom used to go to bingo together, or whatever the case may be.
You beat my ass.
That you still somehow became friends. I have great love and respect for many of the people that I grew up with. Many of them have special places in the heart, and many of them taught me lessons that I never shared with them. They taught me. If it's something about how you carry yourself, or maybe seeing how a lady carries themselves versus how the other women carry themselves, I got something from many of those people. And so cherish the ones you're with, and cherish those who pass by you, but they may not be in your inner world. I don't know what value that's going to add to people that do that. I think that it could potentially open more doors. It could potentially make you more of a loving person, because I promise you, we're not just doing something here on earth. We're being watched over. And when you do righteousness, you get righteousness. And so there could be some great karma that come back from just learning to cherish people. God created us all. And so if you cherish people, then you are cherishing what God has made. And that might be a great way to kind of wrap up this subject.
I don't know, man. It feel like a good Groupon commercial. I feel like this is a good Groupon. I'm going to make a hell of a saving. We're going to put Groupon in it.
Man,
so listen, y'all need to go ahead.
Don't you want to talk about love? Man, nobody talking about real love.
I mean, nobody talking about Groupon either, but they can make a great savings like Geico. I'm trying to save somebody a lot of money.
About real love, and real love is unconditional love. It's Christ-like love with every person you meet, and to know that they may not have what you want or anything you like, but not only can you respect them, you can respect where they came from. They have a mother, and they got a brother, and they got a sister, and their mother and brother and sister cares about them, and they can see. You have to be a little more vested in this world in people. Because if you start throwing away people, you're going to find that people are going to start throwing you away. And that's a hard lesson to learn when you end up in a place by yourself and lonely and broke and tired and frustrated, and you got nobody to lean on. And I got hundreds upon hundreds of people I can call right now. Hundreds upon hundreds of people who value me and value my opinion because of how I left it 20 years ago. Because of how I dealt with it back then. And I didn't. Yeah, and I wasn't always doing what I did for me. Sometimes I did it just to salvage what might be left of the relationship. Right?
I don't know about all that.
Man,
teach me that one.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
I'm kind of bitter.
You don't build a mountain on just steps.
I came back.
You know what I'm saying? Mountain ain't built of just steps. You know
mountains.
what I mean?
I move
mountains.
people.
Yeah, I'm talking about good relationships.
I just move people, and then the people make the mountain look like it moved.
It's about time, man. It's about that time. But how would you summarize this, man?
One of the things I would say to summarize is really you got to get back in tune with you. It goes back to you. One of the things I can tell you, if you're going to motivate somebody, you motivate them by you. So one of the things I'm telling you when it's coming to relationships and why I got fired 5 times and still was around is the motivation I gave that person and they seen in me. Now, I didn't give up on them because I was motivated to do more than what they seen. You trying to live for them, you will never complete you. And that's one of the things that I'm really saying for strong people to stand up and understand. You have a mission. If you're getting pulled to the side, you might not complete your mission. That's up to you. Buddha said something and he threw his finger up. Everything ain't for you. But that don't mean that they don't rock with you. They don't always have to agree with you. But that don't mean you're supposed to stop anything.
Right.
You are to learn that everybody's different. I don't supposed to convince Buddha to be me. Buddha don't convince me to be him.
Right.
But if you be the best you, Buddha will walk away with a smile, even though he didn't get an agreement.
Absolutely.
You can agree to disagree, but an understanding makes you more whole and complete. It doesn't take you to make a woman to go to bed mad. It makes you to get to a point where she can have a better understanding. The madness is emotion. I want to get to her soul. If she understand me, she can grow with me, we can align. If she mad at me, it's an emotion. That can change. Too many things are changing off emotions and not us. I want to be better us than what we were.
There you go.
So that's a learning tool, right?
There you go. There
So
you go.
I want to learn together, and that's what you bring, the spirituality, because, again, I'm selfish. But with you, I learned to be more understanding
Yeah.
that your way ain't the only way.
Yeah.
Your vision ain't the only vision. So now I can be a better person by knowing I'm looked at in a different way, and I have to speak in a better way
There you go.
than where I was.
And see, so tonight, folks, we've been talking about reserving a place in our hearts for people. And I challenge you to reserve a place in your heart for every person in your path. That person was not put there by osmosis or some random set of events. That person was divinely placed in your path. And when you see someone begging for money, or when you see a little old lady who needs help with her groceries to the car, or when you see any number of things in the world, you are to pour yourself into
That's
people
right.
and into the world.
Put their ass in the back of your car and put them in your backyard and put their ass to work.
Right. Yeah, you talking about, man?
What I'm talking about? I'm tired of just giving money. No, you next person I see with a sign and I'm driving that big
But
truck.
listen.
Oh, you getting in that truck? You going to work?
But listen, your giving is not about them.
No, it's not.
Your
It's
giving
about
is
me making
about-
some money off of them.
Your giving is about you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have to continue to pour out. It's not about
Right.
them. It's about us.
It's about
us
us.
doing our part.
Me
you know?
trying to make some money off of
and
them.
of course, reserving a place in your heart for loved ones. Never hate.
No,
Never
no,
to
hate.
be disgusted with someone in your past. They brought you to the place that you are, and they gave you some lessons that you otherwise could not been exposed to. Love them even through the painful times and things and stuff, because it's all temporary. You know, it's temporary stuff. And when you get over the problem or the issue that you had, you'll find that they were still the same person that you fell in love with many years ago, whether that be a family member, friend, or a loved one from the past. They all brought something good to your life. So that special place in your heart is meant for special people.
That's right.
Take the time to know people, and you'll find something special about every person. I
Yep.
promise you. And so this has been Bar Talk with Jay.
Yep.
I don't think there's a more fitting topic to talk about than what we discussed tonight. Why do we reserve a place in our hearts for people who don't make an effort to try? And that means just Christ-like love, loving people through their faults. Let love be the seat of your soul, and let it take over the seat of your soul, and you'll find that all your actions and all your thoughts
That's right.
will be designed to be loving and loving like God.
And the only thing I can say is raindrops will fall. Nights like this. This is the Eddie Kane moment. You ain't see Five Heartbeats?
I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to tell you, some people can fall off, and some people can still have it. Don't judge because of people's past behaviors to think that's all they got to stay. One of the things I said with the Five Heartbeats, again, with Eddie Kane, yes, right. Night like this might not have to be your last night. You can make change, just understanding what you're going through and what you did, but you can still make amends. understands you.
There you go.
Power is in you, understanding you. That's the gift that was given. I always want you to get back to your gift.
There you go. And this has been Bar Talk with Jay. We thank you folks for being with us tonight. We are Thursday Facebook Live on Bar Talk with Jay from 7 to 9 every week. We'd love for you to come out, listen to the show. If you don't catch it live, it's always posted on the site afterwards.
Keep going.
We love you folks. We thank you for listening and for being a part of this great message that we're trying to share. Continue to share and like us and subscribe.
Share,
and
pass.
Y'all come back and see us next week.
And don't save.
We'll talk to you more next week.
Just keep passing.
Bar Talk with Jay. And we out.